I wouldn't say it was very successful. I worked very hard to become successful, but I was more jazz-oriented at that time, you know. And that was not a popular, maybe, I mean, nothing that you climb the charts with. I would say it was not until I met Benny and we started to go together, and I recorded some of his material that I got a list, got on the top, or to the top on the charts. But compared to nowadays, when young people, they can just go into a TV studio and all these competitions going on everywhere, and become star overnight. It was not like that when I was young. I mean, I started very young. I was my first performance, I was only 11 years old, and started singing with a dance band when I was 13, and had to work very hard, you know. And the moment when I was invited to perform in a TV show, a Swedish TV show, when it still was black and white, I was the happiest young woman there was. But it took me like 10 years to work me through to that position. And after that, it started to go fairly well. Of course, I had a lot to do. I worked a lot. But compared to Hep Stars, maybe, and Hootenanny Singers and so forth, it was not the same. I was not in the same league, so to speak, at that time. Oh, we met on tour. I think Benny and Björn, they were in Malmö to actually write a song for the Swedish Eurovision Song Contest, or the Swedish Song Contest, for a guy called Lasse Berghagen. And, you know, it was an after party somewhere, and there we met and had a good time together. And then we met again in Stockholm, and that was the start of Benny's and my relationship. It was not a lot that I didn't like. Maybe it was the loneliness, being in a very famous group like that. You know, when we toured, for example, we could never go outside the hotels. We could never enjoy actually places where we went to. We had to stay locked in at the hotels, and it was a kind of secluded, very strange life in a way. So the only time you actually came alive again was in the evenings when we had our concerts. But everything else I loved. I loved to be on stage. I loved to sing. I loved the whole atmosphere, audience, the energies, everything. Wonderful moments. We were a studio band, and I enjoyed tremendously much to be in the studio, recording, working the songs out and so forth. But I love to be on stage as well. I think we were a good touring band. I mean, looking back at the old kind of concerts and shows, of course it's very different to today. But no, I enjoyed that too, very, very much. And I think the others did as well. I mean, if you look at the footage you've checked on, you can see that there are an awful lot of energy in our performances. Always. Of course it had to be. I mean, and that also brought out a lot of energies that probably wouldn't have been there otherwise. But it was nothing that, it was a good competition, so to speak. It was a very positive one. I mean, if two ladies are at the front of the band, of course there is a competition going on. My favorite song has always been Dancing Queen. It's a masterpiece. I must say, I think it's a masterpiece. And I remember when Benny and Björn had recorded the background in the studio. Benny came home with a tape and played it for me. I started to cry. I was so moved by it because it was so beautiful. You know, one of those songs that instantly goes straight into your heart. And Dancing Queen was one of those songs. But of course there are many others too. I mean, listening to what we've done, there are so many good songs because those songs which became hits. They were very, very good songs. They were kind of outstanding. But I mean, there are many other songs. I was thinking about what you said. There are many other songs that I like a lot that maybe was not on the charts, but anyway were very moving songs, like The King Has Lost His Crown, for example. That's one of my favorites too. But it was never a hit. But a very good song too. I would say that some songs were very easy to record, other songs were not very easy to record, because, as you said, what we did, we created them in the studio. I mean, Benny Bjorn probably, or most of the time, had something in their mind, how they wanted that specific song to sound. But I mean, adding our voices and our singing performance to it could change a lot of things around that was not planned for. I mean, we worked a lot with the backing vocals, for example. We spent a lot of time doing those and tried different ways out, you know. So a lot of things, yeah, most of the things were actually born in the studio while we were recording. It is a simplicity in the songs. You think they are so easy to sing, and as I say, once you try them out, they are not at all easy to sing. And also the range, the vocal range, are quite broad or wide. And of course the advantage there was that Agneta is a soprano and I'm a mezzo-soprano, so the blend of those two voices and the range got naturally much wider than maybe only with it would have been with only one voice singing it. I've always been very interested in fashion. As I remember, I think I was a driving force very much in that chapter. We were all interested, of course. I had a lot of ideas, and either the other liked them or not. Some were thrown away, some were accepted. Now I remember the look for those the Waterloo costumes. I think it was a little shop somewhere who was very trendy at that time, and they did those costumes for us. But later on we had our own tailor or dressmaker doing the costumes together with us. But those specific Waterloo costumes, they were the beginning of it all, so to speak. Yeah. Our personal life changed as well over those years. Bjorn and Agneta, for example, they divorced, and you know, you change as a person. Your life, your thoughts probably becomes more profound than when you are young and don't have so much worries, so to speak. So I think it's a natural kind of development, as I remember it, Bjorn took advantage of what happened in our lives to write his more elaborate lyrics from that later period of our. I suppose that occupied his mind a lot at that time, because it's not very easy to split up, is it? I mean, we've learned a lot over the years, and what we learned was not to mix our private life with what we professionally did. So I can only remember when we were in the studio. I mean, it was maybe not the same atmosphere as it had been before. It had changed, but it doesn't mean that it was worse and it gave something extra, something else to the songs that we recorded at that time. We had a good kind of rapport in the studio. We never had a problem with that. Being professional, working out from that script, so to speak. It reminded me very much about how it was 30 years ago, or maybe 25, with the crowds receiving us so fantastically. The red carpet, a lot of screams and happy faces, and you really felt that wonderful energy going forth and back, you know, between the audience and ourselves, entering the theater, the crowd standing up cheering. You know, it was like experience it again after such a long time, and it was a wonderful feeling. It was a very happy, wonderful feeling. It's nice to meet your fans face to face occasionally as well, and if I can make them happy signing some autographs, then I'm fine. At least 3 of us have joined up from the group, and you know, in a way you experience a lot of what was then 25, 27 years ago, or maybe even 30, and leaving Abba 82 was a conscious decision. Or it was also a natural one. All 4 of us wanted to go separate ways. And I could never dreamt of at that time that the music would linger on and still not 30 years later, but anyway, a long time after, still be so popular as it is. And that actually it appeals to the new generation as well. I mean, I get fan mails from teenagers. I could be their grandmother. So that's a wonderful thing, isn't it? But as you said, I led another kind of life in between, which has also enriched my life a lot. Abba will never disappear, but I felt actually being on stage at the Mamma Mia thing, I felt like it was a kind of farewell to the time that has been, with myself involved so much in Abba, so to speak. I felt like this is a very happy moment to say goodbye. Now the baby is 30 years old. It can live a life on its own. I don't have to be there all the time to care for it. Or that was the kind of feeling I had. But as I said, Abba will always be there. I mean, it's a big part of my life. I can never leave it in that sense. I mean, it has a part of me has been educated from what I've gone through with Abba, with the music, with Happy Times. I mean, it has put a great print of on me, on my life. But I mean, you know, everything has its time, and I can just now enjoy it and feel happy about what was. You know, I do so many other things now. I'm involved in things that have with in my own foundation, working with children on environmental issues. I'm involved in a kind of medical device that is treating people. I'm doing a lot of things that not have with music to do, and I feel very contented in my life for the moment. I have a rich life.